talk to you guys about becoming fearless. You see, a lot of people ask me during my readings what the biggest problem is in humanity today. And most of the time, spirits will say fear. You see, fear has always been very present in the hearts of mankind for a very, very long time. And so as we have evolved into this kind of fast-paced, very stressful way of living, the fear in our hearts just got bigger and bigger. And so why is fear so problematic? Well, it's because it affects everything. You see, our thoughts and our emotional energy attracts and creates our reality, meaning that the fear that we feel every day, and most of us feel it on a very profound level, affects everything. And so everything we think, we say, and do, all the decision making, the choices we make, our reactions and our responses, everything that we are experiencing can come from only two emotional energies. It either comes from love or it comes from fear. And unfortunately, whether you're ready to admit it or not, most of us are coming from a source of fear. It is almost embedded into our DNA. It has become part of our society so deeply and so profoundly that a lot of times we don't even notice it anymore. Now, Spirit also tells me that the true spiritual journey is to transcend fear, to move away from fear. So you can follow and be inspired by the gifts of the universe and really transcend our own limited beliefs. And through this transformation, become limitless in the creation of our own reality. So the question remains, how do we move away from fear? Well, I think the first step is to disempower fear by understanding what it is, by having knowledge and wisdom, where it comes from, what does it do, is it even necessary? And what are we really afraid of? Ask yourself that. How does it affect our decision-making process, and how does it manipulate our thought patterns and our manifestations? Okay, so one of our most influential fears, I think, is the fear of being responsible for attracting and creating the good, the bad, and the ugly into our journey. So the fear of being responsible for creating and attracting all of your experiences and for being the creator of all that you are. So take on responsibility for everything that you are and everything that you are experiencing in your journey, and finding acceptance that in some way or form you have either requested, you have attracted, or you have energetically, subconsciously attracted the comfortable and the uncomfortable experiences of your life with the sole purpose to expand and to grow as a soul energy. Those two actions can already make dramatic changes in your life and can really transform your future. So taking responsibility and finding acceptance. Those are two very important steps into becoming fearless. Now, a lot of us are also afraid of life itself. Why? Because we're afraid of dying. We're afraid of death. We feel death like it's this ticking time bomb that is just kind of hanging above our heads. And it could go off at any time. We don't know when. You know, it could go off tomorrow. It could go off in another 80 years. We just don't know when. So it puts so much pressure on ourselves to try and reach what we think we should reach before the bomb goes off. We're afraid of not achieving or experiencing the things that we believe we need or want in order to have a fulfilling and meaningful life. So when you're afraid to die, a lot of us are afraid to live. When you remove that fear of death and you're not afraid to die, then you're never afraid to live. Now, the real question is, how can we not be afraid to die? Well, you cannot be afraid to die if you truly understand what death is. Death is never an ending. It is a continuation of your true self in a different frequency, in a different dimension. We just transcend our current vibration and we move into a new vibration. So know that your current story and all of its storyline will never fade or disappear. You and this current journey are and will eternally be a part of all that is, of God's source, of the universe. So let's go back to fear. What is fear then? Well, fear is the thought, the belief, the idea that we are not going to be able to have something that we think we need. And so a person who doesn't need anything won't fear anything. So when you let go of the need to experience your life in a specific way or in a particular physical form, and instead you open yourself up to become more receptive to the universe's love and its greatness, to what the universe is providing for you, what the universe is sending to you, knowing that it is sending it to you so you can learn and grow and you can manifest exactly what you want, then you will see that you will attract experiences and adventures greater than your current paradigm, because you will no longer be limited and restricted by fear. You will become truly fearless, and that is a frequency that most spiritual masters reside in. So start to look at your own fears. Understand the roots of them. Where did they come from? How did they start? Whenever fear arises, ask yourself, what is it that I think that I need right here? Because as Neil Donald Walsh named it so eloquently, he said that fear is need announced. So look at what it is that you think you need and ask yourself, do I really need that? Ask yourself, what would happen if you didn't have it? What would happen if you never achieved it? Because you see, and here's the crazy thing about achievements and how fear manifests into the ideas of those achievements. We will experience fear because we are worried that we won't get what we think we need. And then once we do feel the excitement of receiving what we thought we needed, once those prayers have been answered, then comes the fear of losing that exact thing. Then comes the fear of losing it now that we have it. Okay, so fear is a tricky little thing, tricky little devil, always hiding around the corner. And you can see that a lot of times, fear arises in relationships. A lot of people will ask their spiritual team, oh, what if I never find a partner who loves me and respects me? What if no one will ever love me? And then sometimes their prayers are answered. Somebody comes into their journey who loves them and respects them. And when that happens, then all of a sudden the fear kicks in and they become afraid that they will lose that love. Their prayers are finally answered, and then they will worry, what if I lose this person? What if I screw up my relationship? What if I do something wrong? What if I say something wrong? And so on and so on. There's all of these questions and all of these what ifs that will constantly haunt our minds when we are in relationships that we truly care about. A lot of times people will struggle with financial abundance. And when we're struggling financially and we Let's say you finally get that job that's going to help you, with all of this financial distress. Once we get the job, your prayer was answered, the universe provided for you. Once we get it, then we get scared again that we might lose the job. What if they aren't happy with me? What if I can't do the job that they expect from me? What if I mess it up and I make a mistake? What if, what if, what if, what if? There's so many what ifs. And I can tell you right now, when our attention and our focus goes to losing something, then the chances of you manifesting that is huge, because we're feeding it every day with energy. And the universe always says, your wish is my command. The universe will always give you where you put the most energy in, because the universe thinks if she or he puts so much energy into that, that's probably what they want. And so we always have this duality of fears in all of our life structures. Our health, for example. Let's say you're hurting. Let's say you're sick, and you want certain aches and pains and illnesses to go away. Well, then when it happens, when they do go away, then you start to worry already. What if they come back? What then? Let's say you have overcome cancer. A lot of people will then go into, well, what if the cancer comes back? And guess what? If you put your focus on there all the time, every time, with lots of intention and integrity and energy, well, then you will create that cancer to come back. You will create whatever you put your fear into. So how do we solve this problem? How do we become fearless? Okay, well, you need to work on yourself. Okay, it is so important to feed and master your spiritual growth. You need to understand your fears. You need to analyze them. Where did they come from? Do they even belong to me? Are they false beliefs or truths from others? Were they imprinted in you by society, by schooling, by your parents, your friends, religion? Okay? And if you come to notice that these fears, they didn't belong to you, but they were passed on to you by others, then first of all, identify that. Okay? Tell the universe, the energies around you, they do not belong to me. Identify that they do not belong to you, and then release them. Give them back to who they belong to. Return the energy back to the rightful owner in your mind. Even you can return it to Mother Earth, return it to the universe, so the universe can neutralize that energy for you. So visualize yourself handing them back. A thing that I do during my meditation classes with people is I have a guided meditation, which is all about releasing fear. And I have them visualize that they write their fear down onto a card and they hang it on a balloon. And then I have them visualize that this fear, they let go of the balloon, and the balloon rises and it goes higher and higher and higher. And I tell them to look at it and to visualize that the further the balloon goes away, the more they feel released from the fear. And they look at it until they can no longer see it. And in that moment, they have handed over their fear back to the universe. And the universe loves you so much that it will neutralize that energy for you. It will release it for you. Now, what happens if these fears are created by yourself? Then you need to ask yourself, what is it that I think I need here? What need is my fear announcing? And ask yourself if having that would really change you. If having what it is that you fear you're not going to have, if that would really change you. If it would really change who you are. And would it really offer you that everlasting happiness that we're all seeking? Or would it just be a temporary fix? You know, your focus, your expression of energy. You see, thoughts and feelings, they are very powerful units of mental energy. And so whatever you send out, the universe will honor that and give you more of what you're sending out. And if you want to truly manifest, start using the true universal laws, not the societal brainwashing ideas and thoughts that the collective have made into false universal laws. Because you see, what you believe, you create into a law, into your reality. If you believe it, you will conceive it. A lot of people will have heard that, but it's the truth. So visualize, believe what you see in your mind's eye is already so, and have faith that the universe will provide that for you. Have faith that the universal law of attraction, the universal law of manifestation will act upon what you believe to be so. So believe more in what you don't see than what you do see. Because then what you do see, you won't see. And what you don't see, you will see. Okay, let that settle in for a minute. Let me repeat. Believe more in what you don't see than what you do see. Because then what you do see, you won't see. And what you don't see, you will see. Let it sink in. You'll get it. Okay, so who you are is who you understand to be. Who you don't need the love of another in order to experience who you truly are. Whenever you believe that joy, happiness, peace, serenity, abundance can only be obtained outside of yourself, then you will get into fear mode every single time. I can guarantee it. This source of abundance and happiness doesn't exist outside of yourself, but it is given to you. It comes from you, and it is manifested by you. And when you can find that space to reside in, when you can embody that knowing, then your fears will disappear. When you can find acceptance and understanding in universal truth, and you can disregard false beliefs, blame and shame stories, and start to take responsibility for your creation, fears will disappear. Now, I'm teaching 6 classes that talks about this. It's called Discover and Manifest Your True Life Path. And it is taught on Learn It Live. The classes are recorded, so if you've missed the first classes, you can always purchase it and start from the beginning, because you do have to go one at a time. And in these classes, I do teach these steps in very detailed, with lots of exercises on how we can grow spiritually and move through these 4 different stages of spiritual development, which is victim consciousness, manifestor consciousness, channel consciousness, and being consciousness, and how we can rise and transcend these states of being, these consciousness states, into our different life structures, you know, the financial, the relationship, the abundance, and so on and so forth. So if you're interested in that, don't be afraid to go check it out. I'll put the link below. And in that that first stage of victim consciousness, if you can truly master that stage and transcend it into manifestor consciousness, that's when a lot of our fears disappear. So it's really they are great classes, and I do recommend them. So let's go back to this. When we can find that happiness and balance and peace within ourselves, then you'll notice that people will become more attracted to you. They will be drawn to you because everybody wants to feel abundant. Everybody wants to feel happy. You know, it's a great example. It's the Dalai Lama. He just has to walk into a room and people instantly feel healed. People instantly feel so much better. And it's because he projects an energy of peace and serenity and acceptance. He doesn't approve of everything that's going on in the world, but he finds acceptance that the universe has purpose and intention behind every good, bad, and ugly energy and experience. So there is a sense of peace and balance within him, and you, by admitting that, by being in that state, you are instantly healing others. You are affecting other people's energy. And so when you become fearless, you know, and let me tell you something, fear is always going to be present, but you can get to a stage where it no longer affects you in any way or form. And as you grow into that stage with lots of practice and self-awareness exercises, you know, eventually fear becomes obsolete. It's still there, but it's no longer part of your reality. So just keep that in mind. So yes, when you are in that state of balance and peace, people become more attracted to you. They will be drawn to you, and so will certain positive experiences and adventures, because you receive whatever you send out vibrationally. We are vibrational beings. Okay, so send out frequencies of self-love, inner joy, and inner peace, and you will receive more of that back, unless you have designed your life in such a way that it really is part of a contract to really undergo lots of struggle. But that's a different subject. 99% of people are creating fear within themselves because of others, because of our own insecurities. So know that those contracts are it is a possibility, but again, this is your reality, and contracts can be changed and adjusted because you made them, you created them, and you mastered them. So you can change anything in life. God always tells me we are here to remember who we truly are and to recreate who we are, to reinvent ourselves with every incarnation, to try something new with every incarnation. And by doing so, learning, experiencing, and expanding. Okay, so know that everything can be changed. Okay. Now, this peaceful experience is attainable, and the path to this transformation is the movement away from fear. Whatever you're afraid of right now, realize a couple of things. One, it's not real. You're making it all up. It is a human illusion created by others or created by yourself to control you, or it is created by you based on false truth, on false beliefs. And if you start to identify with your true self, your immortal, all-knowing, and all-powerful soul, then you disempower your fears. 2, think about it. If the thing that you're so afraid of would happen, if it actually did happen, you and I would still be here tomorrow. It really wouldn't make any difference at all. Unless, of course, you wouldn't be here tomorrow, in which case it absolutely wouldn't make any difference at all. 3, start calling your fears adventures, because then you will bring in an energy that will heal the fear. Release the need to control and limit what your future should look like. And instead, have faith that the universe, that this eternal presence that is never in absence, will always provide you with the experiences and the relationships that will be the most beneficial to you and your chosen path. If you choose to see positivity and hope, if you choose to live your life filled with inspiration and excitement, then soon enough there will be nothing left to fear. And life becomes the great joy it was always intended to be. You become fearless, and you start to reside in the state of peace within yourself. I really hope this message will inspire you to make the changes within in order to see the changes outside of yourself. If you need assistance and if you need more details on how to transcend these different states of being, these different states of awareness, then don't be afraid to join me on my Learn It Live class. And it is possible to transcend. And from my personal experience, I have worked through so many fears. And every fear is different. So approach it differently. Ask yourself the question, where does it come from? Is it me? What do I think I need here? And how can I transcend it? How can I release it? And work through every fear individually, one step at a time, baby steps. It took me 30 years to get to where I need to get. And I'm still every now and then struggling with fear. But then I have found a technique on how to view it and how to transcend it. And that is what I'm teaching in my classes. So I hope to see you guys there. And I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, share as much as you can. And I love you guys. Many blessings. I'll see you later. Bye.